Hi guys, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to do a fundamental class, so really just back to basics. I'll go through the breathing, I'll go through neutral spine and just level 1, level 2 exercises. Probably still 45 minutes to 55 minutes class, but it'll be really just all of the fundamental exercises that the intermediate work and also that a lot of the studio work is based on. So I'm just going to get you to start lying on your backs. Knees bent, hip width apart. Hip width is about a tennis ball or maybe a little bit wider between your knees. Hands down by your sides, fingertips reaching towards the toes. Shoulders are open, back and down. And I just want you to take a moment here. We're going to find neutral. So just place your hands on your pelvis, palms on your hip bones, fingers on your pubic bone, kind of like a diamond shape or an arrow. And I just want you to imagine that you've got a plank of wood resting across your 2 hip bones. And I want you to tip that plank of wood towards your belly button. We call this an imprint. The reason it's called an imprint is because if you can imagine if you're lying on the sand, you're imprinting your spine into the sand. And then I want you to tip that plank of wood towards your feet. You're going to tip the wood towards your belly button and then tip it towards your feet. So you're going to tuck the pelvis and arch the pelvis. Another way I sort of explain this is imagine if you had a compass with the center of the compass on your belly button, and north is going toward your head and south is going toward your feet. You're going north and south. When you go north, you're an imprint. When you go south, this is a position you never want to find yourself in. So if you're ever doing an exercise where you've got your legs up in the air or you're doing endurance abdominals and you start to feel your pelvis moving south, 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 your abdominals are fatiguing and you need to stop. So now I just want you to settle that compass or that plank of wood into the midway point where it just lays flat. So where your pubic bone and your 2 hip bones are on the same plane. This is different for everybody depending on your posture. So it might mean that you have to tuck a little bit if you have a really arched back, and it might mean that you have to lengthen a little bit if you have a really flat back. Just try and find that position where you're on that same plane, where the plank of wood is lying flat. So in this position, you should feel like your tailbone is resting on the floor. You should feel that you have a natural gap underneath your lower back. You should feel like your rib cage, your shoulder blades, and your thoracic vertebra are just resting on the floor. And if you keep your chin toward your chest gently, where your chin and your forehead are in line with each other, then you should have a natural gap under your neck, and this is your neutral spine position. I'm going to go through the breathing now. So just pop your hands on your rib cage, fingers at the front, thumbs around the back, just below sort of your nipple line. And I just want you to take a breath in through the nose and feel the rib cage expand. Breathe out through a pursed lip and feel it collapse. Just do a couple of breaths, noticing the natural movement of the rib cage. One more, breathing in and breathing out. So now you're going to take a breath in. You're going to breathe into the back of the lungs and the side of the ribs. So you're going to breathe into your hands and into your tummy. And as you breathe out, I want you to draw up on your pelvic floor, so pubic bone towards your belly button. Pull your belly button toward your spine and pull your ribs toward each other and towards your hips, like you're trying to draw your belly in and slide your ribs on top. Then relax, let it go, breathe in again to the back of the lungs, side of the ribs, and into the abdominals. And as you breathe out, again, drawing up and in on the pelvic floor, belly button in, ribs draw toward each other and toward the hips. And we relax, let it go, breathing in again to the back of the lungs, side of the ribs, and into the abdominals. And again, as you breathe out, pubic bone to belly button, navel to spine, ribs to each other and toward the hips. This time as you breathe in, I want you to try and keep a connection through your pelvic floor and your belly. So You're going to breathe in just to the back of the ribs and the back of the lungs and the side of the ribs only. And as you breathe out, you're going to deepen that abdominal contraction. Belly button toward the spine, ribs toward each other and toward the hips. Keep the belly button drawing in as you breathe into the back of the lungs, side of the ribs. And as you breathe out, deepen that contraction, feeling like you're trying to pull the skin of your torso away from your clothes. Breathing into the back of the lungs, side of the ribs. Allowing space for the breath but not letting go of your abdominals. As you breathe out, contract your abdominals further, purposefully and intently. Breathing through a purse that ribs draw toward each other and toward the hips. This is your Pilates breathing. The aim is to maintain this pattern of breath throughout the entire class. I'm going to start with some pelvic curls. So hands down by your side, skinny tips reaching toward the toes. You're going to take a breath in to prepare. And as you breathe out, you're going to tip your pelvis towards you. So tip that plank of wood towards your belly. And you're going to peel the spine up off the mat, bone by bone, until the knees, hips and shoulders are in line. You're going to breathe in at the top to the back of the lungs, side of the ribs. And as you breathe out, you're going to drop down through the throat, through the sternum, through the ribs and the waist, and allow the pelvis to settle in neutral, breathing in. And as you breathe out, you're going to draw your belly in, flatten your lower back into imprint, tuck your tail, and peel your spine up off the mat, bone by bone, keeping length through the back of the neck, knees reaching towards the feet, the spine is reaching toward the knees, breathing in. Breathe out to drop down through the sternum, through the ribs, through the belly, through the pelvis. We're going to do 3 more, breathing in again. Breathing out, creating that imprint position, hollowing out the tummy, peeling the spine up, bone by bone, keeping even weight through both of the feet. Breathing in at the top. And breathing out to drop down through the throat, the sternum, the ribs, the waist, and the pelvis in neutral, breathing in. And as you breathe out again, just peeling the spine up. You should be feeling this in the back of your thighs and your abdominal muscles, and a little bit in your arms, breathing in. And breathe out. Try and keep the weight through your feet. We don't want to be putting the weight on our shoulders or our neck. We want to keep the weight of our body in our feet. Last one, breathing out, we peel the spine up. Bone by bone. Holding this position, you're going to keep the shoulders open and away from the ears. Breathing in, try and keep the pelvis nice and level. As you breathe out, you're going to float the right leg up into tabletop. Breathe in to lower it down. Breathe out to float the left leg up into tabletop until you're marching. Breathe in to lower. The aim is to try and keep the pelvis really still. Breathe out, lift. As you change legs and lift the leg. Breathing in. Breathe out, lift. Breathe in, lower. Pressing through the foot that stays on the mat. Working through the abdominals and through the outsides of the arms. One more each leg. Breathe out, lift. Breathe in, lower. Breathe out, lift. Breathe in, lower. Breathing in and breathing out. Dropping down through the ribs, through the tummy, through the pelvis, bone by bone. We're going to do a single leg lift. So just maintaining that neutral pelvis position and using the breathing now. We're going to work on our dissociation of the hip. That means lifting the leg into tabletop without the pelvis moving. So we're going to use the breath to engage the abdominals to support the pelvis when the leg moves up. So you can take a breath in to prepare. And as you breathe out, Engage through your lower abdominals and through the ribs, and float the right leg into tabletop, keeping the pelvis neutral. Breathe in to lower it down. Breathe out to float the left leg up. Breathe in, lower it down. This is actually a really difficult exercise to do, breathing out to lift, breathing into lower without any movement of the pelvis. The best way that I have found to get some tactile feedback of what's happening is to put the hands under the small of the back. Just make sure you don't hurt your shoulder to do that. Breathing out. And what you will feel, if there's movement of the pelvis, is a change in pressure on your hands. Breathing in to lower down. Do one more each side. Now we're going to do a double leg lift. It's still one at a time. So as we breathe in, we're going to float the right leg into tabletop. You're going to start the out breath, engage through the abdominals, and use the out breath to lift the left leg. You're going to breathe in to lower the right leg. Breathe out to lower the left. This is actually quite hard to do without the pelvis going south. Breathe in to lift the left leg. If your pelvis is going south, just go back to a single leg lift. Breathe out, abdominals on. Just float the right leg up. Breathe in to lower the left leg. Breathe out to lower the right leg. One more each side. Breathe in to lift the right leg. Breathe out to lift the left. Breathe in to lower the right leg. Breathe out, lower the left. Breathe in to lift the left leg. Breathe out, engage. Lift the right leg. Breathe in to lower the left leg. Breathe out to lower the right leg. Just bring your hands out from under the small of your back if that's where they were, or just bring them out to the sides. Palms facing up just below chest height. Again, try and keep length through the back of the neck. We're going to breathe in to float the left leg into tabletop. And we're going to breathe out using that abdominal contraction to stabilize the pelvis. We're going to float the right leg into tabletop. Knees and feet together, we're going to go into the spine twist now. So as you breathe in, you're going to take your knees across to the right, lifting the left hip, keeping the left shoulder and shoulder blade on the mat. And you're going to use your left abdominals to draw the pelvis back to center. The knees come back last. Breathing in, the knees go across to the left, lifting the right pelvis, the right shoulder and shoulder blades stay on the mat. And you're going to breathe out and use your right abdominals to draw your right ribs, your right waist, your right hips, and then your knees back to center. One more each way, breathing in. Knees to the right, lifting the left pelvis. You want to keep those knees on the same plane. Breathe out and use your abdominals like you're doing a hula hoop. Breathe in, knees across to the left, lifting the right pelvis, keeping those knees as if they're one knee. You can help support the top leg with the bottom leg. Exhale. Use your abdominals to come back to the center. Place the feet down on the mat, legs together. Interlace your fingers. Place them at the base of your skull, supporting your head with your thumbs running down the back of your neck. We're going to go into a chest lift. With the chest lift, the idea of the chest lift is that your pelvis stays neutral and that you don't use it to help you lift up. So you don't want to tuck your pelvis into imprint to lift your chest. You want to keep the length through the back of the neck. You're going to take a breath in to prepare. And as you breathe out, you're going to curl forward and lift the head and chest using the abdominal contraction at the ribs. Breathing in to lower back down. Breathe out. Curl forward and lift the head and chest. Breathing in as we lower back down, keeping the ribs in. Breathing out, abdominals on. Using that contraction of the ribs to go forward. Breathe in as you lower. Try and keep your armpits toward the roof, further forward than your throat. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. And inhale to lower down. One more breathing. Breathing out. We're going to stay lifted through the chest now. We're going to take a breath in to prepare. And as we breathe out, we're going to rotate. I want you to think about taking your ribs across your opposite knee and the opposite ribs towards the center. So breathing in. As you breathe out, you're going to take your right ribs toward your left knee, rotating left. And I want you to keep those left ribs connected by thinking about reaching the left shoulder towards the roof. Breathing in, we come back to the center, staying lifted through the chest. And as we breathe out, we rotate to the right rib toward the left knee, left rib toward right knee, right shoulder off the mat. Breathe in to come back to the center and lower down. Breathe in to prepare. Breathe out to engage. Curl forward and lift the head and chest, breathing in. We're going to add on to it now. Breathe out, we're going to rotate to the left, right rib toward left knee, left shoulder off the mat. Breathing in to come back to the center. Breathe out, rotate right, left shoulder toward right knee, right shoulder off the mat. Breathe into center and lower down. Oh, I said we were going to add on to it and I didn't. That's alright, we'll add on to this one, breathing in. We're just going to do 4 instead of 2, breathing out. Breathe in, hold. Breathe out, rotate. Right rib toward left knee. Left rib store in. Breathe in to come back to the center, armpits to the roof. Breathe out to rotate to the right, keeping the left ribs working toward the right knee, right shoulder off the mat. Breathe in to come back to the center, staying lifted through the chest. Breathe out, rotate. Left. Right shoulder to left knee or right rib to left knee. Breathe in center. And breathe out to rotate right. Left shoulder to right knee, keeping the legs and pelvis nice and stable. Breathe in center. And lower down. We're going to go into a very traditional Pilates exercise called the hundreds. We're just going to do the really basic fundamental way, which is by keeping the feet exactly as they are, the knees as they are. If at any time your neck starts to kick in and you feel like it's overworking in the wrong way, put your head down and have a break. What you can do is instead of having your head and chest up, you can put your head and chest down and bring your legs up into tabletop and keep going. We're going to pump the arms, but 10 breaths worth. We breathe in for 5 pumps, we breathe out for 5 pumps. So take a breath into prepare. As you breathe out, you're going to come forward and lift the head and chest. Reach the fingertips toward the toes. You're going to take a breath in and you're going to breathe out to pump. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing in. And out. Breathing in. 2, 3, 4, 2. And out. Strong pumps of the arms from the upper arm. Breathe in for 3. And out. Breathing in 4. Each out breath, deepen your abdominal contraction. Breathing in 5. And out. Breathing for 6. And out. 2, 3, 4, 6. Breathing 7. And out. Breathing in 8. And out. 2, 3, 4, 8. Breathing for 9. And out. Breathing in 10. And out. 2, 3, 4, 10. Lower the head and chest. Arms down by your sides. We're going to do a basic version of the single leg circle. So you're going to float the right leg into tabletop and extend it into the air. Take your left hand and place it on your left hip, but keep your left knee bent as it is. We're going to draw circles on the roof with the right leg, Your aim is to try and keep that right knee extended the whole time. So I want you to try, as you're drawing, try and keep the right knee extended, but you also want to keep the pelvis really level. So you don't want to be rocking and rolling the pelvis with the leg. You just want to move the leg. So the hips moving in the hip socket. So the ball is moving in the socket. So you're going to extend the leg. We're going to take a breath in to prepare. As we breathe out, we're going to go out to the side and down. Breathe in to cross our center and lift. Breathe out. Down. Breathing in to come up. Breathe out to lower. Breathe in across the center and lift. I'm going to move my left leg a little bit further away so that I am not hitting it with my right leg. Breathe out lower. Breathe in lift. 2 more in this direction. Breathe out as you lower. Breathe in lift. I'm going to go the other way, so you're going to breathe out across your center. Breathe in, circle it around and lift. Breathe out to across your center. Breathe in, circle it around and lift. Breathing out. You want to try not to have any clicks of the hips. It's sort of okay if it doesn't hurt, but I don't like it personally, and I don't think that it should be encouraged. So if you do have a click of your hip, stop. That it means your pelvis isn't staying neutral. Something's got to be fixed in your posture before you can keep going. Last one. Breathing in as you lift. Bend the knee. Just bring it in towards your chest. I want you just to hold the back of the thigh, interlace your fingers, and I just want you to extend and bend. So you're going to try and keep the knee still and reach the foot to your head, just to give you a dynamic stretch of the back of the leg. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. One more. And just hold it. I'm going to walk my hands up my leg a little bit now. It's quite a strong stretch for me because I've done quite a bit today, so my leg is shaking. It's fine. It just means it's working hard. And I'm going to bend the knee, lower the leg. You're going to bring the right knee so that it's in line with the left knee, so it's a little bit further away than 90 degrees. You're going to float the left leg into tabletop, extend the left knee. Try and keep that left knee extended, right hand on right hip. Trying not to let the pelvis move. Breathing in to prepare, and as you breathe out, you're going to take that left leg out to the side, down, across your center, and lift. Breathe out lower. Breathe in, lift. Think about the length through the back of the neck. Breathing out as we lower. Breathing in as we lift. Last one in this direction. Try and keep the right leg anchored on the mat so it's not moving about, and so it can support your pelvis. Breathe out as you cross the center. Breathe in, circle around and lift. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathe out as you lower. Breathe and lift. I often just lift my head to have a look. What you might find if you do that is that you feel more comfortable because your superficial abdominals turn on. Last one, bend the knee. Hold the thigh at the back. Keep the knee where it is and extend the foot toward the head. I like to do this with a flexed foot, it's just a stronger stretch. But yeah, what I was saying was when I lift up to look at my leg, my superficial abdominal muscles turn on and it makes it easier. So, but you don't want to stay like that. But I sometimes just look at my pelvis to see if it's neutral because I'm not 100%. One more. extend and hold it. Walk the hands up the leg if you wish to have a bigger stretch. Try and keep your tail on the floor. And hold it. I just realized I have a fake tan on, but my hands are really, really white. And it's because I've been wearing gloves all day, every day, because of what's going on at the moment. We don't want to pass on the virus, or we don't want to get the virus or pass it on, so we're wearing gloves. And it's doing interesting things to my hands. And rest. Okay, you're going to roll onto your side now. Onto your right hand side, I should say. And we're going to start with some glute work. And then we're going to move back into some more core work. So we're just going to do a set of clams, really stock standard, fundamental exercise, which I really find people get wrong 90% of the time, including myself for a long time. So with the setup, you want to make sure that your shoulder, your hips and your feet are all in line with each other. So I just visualize that I'm being set up against a wall, and my back of my head, my shoulders, my back, my pelvis, my feet are all in line with the wall. My feet are stacked and my knees are stacked, and I want to lengthen my hip, my top hip away from me, so that my underneath waist lifts, so that my hips are really stacked on top of each other. You're going to just keep your top hand in your groin and just feel for any big ropey tendons to pop up. And just notice what happens there. We're going to take a breath in to prepare. And as you breathe out, you're going to engage your abdominals and just open the top knee. I want you to try and drop that top leg into the hip socket without rolling backwards too much. You can roll back a little bit. Breathe in to lower it down, keep the length through the waist, keep the underneath waist lifted, breathe out to lift. Breathe in to lower, breathe out, lift. Breathing in, breathe out. Inhale to lower down, exhale, lift. If you're feeling some really big tendons popping up here, and you can't feel anything happening in your glute, it means that you're just using your quads and your hip flexors. Your aim is to try not to use these at all. It's really difficult. It's actually a lot easier if you have resistance, but we try. I find what helps me is if I pretend that my inside thigh is relaxed, which makes it harder for me to lift because my glute has to work harder. Okay, you're going to bring your feet up into the air. Keep your knees forward and down. Try and keep the pelvis as level as you can, as neutral as you can, underneath waist lifted as you can. And we're going to go again, keeping the feet up, breathe out to lift. This time you're only going to breathe in to bring the knee halfway. Breathe out, lift. Breathing in. Breathing out. What I pretend is that I'm pushing up a resistance with the outside of my top knee. You want to keep your top shoulder away from the ear. Tummy is working strongly the whole time. 4 more. 3, 2, last one. And rest. Humble it out. If you can, step the top foot forward of the bottom knee and sit up. Take hold of the top knee with the opposite hand. So I've got my right arm pulling on my left leg, and I'm going to sit into that left hip and just stretch through that glute. If that was just way too much for your body, there's no way that you're going to be able to achieve that. Just sit up with either sit up with crossed legs, with your left leg in front of your right, and just lean forward, or with your right leg in front of your left actually. And just lean forward. And that should give you a glute stretch like that. Or you can just place your left ankle on your right knee and lean forward, and that should give you a really good glute stretch as well. But I'll go back to my original position. This is probably the best one, but it's also the hardest one to get into. One more breath. And then we're going to come through the center before we go to the other side. And we're going to do some core work in 4-point kneeling. So you're on your hands and your knees. Your knees are directly underneath your hips. Your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. And in this position, we're going to start with a cat stretch. So you're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to draw your belly in, tuck your tail, lift up through the ribs and around your spine. You're going to breathe in as you come through a neutral position, and arch your back, lifting through the chest. It doesn't look like I'm doing much, but I'm working really hard. So it feels like I'm doing a lot. Breathing in to come back through neutral. Breathe out. Tail between the knees, rounding my spine. I have a habit of pitching back, so I have to think about pitching forward. Breathing in to come through the center and extend. Try not to drop your chest. Try and keep your chest lifted or your ribs lifted. Coming back to neutral, you do want to keep your ribs lifted. You don't want your ribs to drop. So we're just going to do a little bit of protraction and retraction. That's the movement that happens at the shoulder blade. So when your ribs drop toward the floor, your shoulder blades retract, they move toward each other. When your ribs lift up, your shoulder blades protract, they move away from each other. Try and keep your head in line with your spine, so if your hands are the base of the triangle, your eyes will be looking at the pinnacle of that triangle. So you're going to retract, drop your ribs toward the floor, elbows stay straight, and protract, lift the ribs toward the roof. Shoulder blades together. Protract, ribs to roof. Retract, shoulder blades together. Protract, ribs to roof, and keep this position now. We're going to start with a really fundamental exercise called cat pause. So you're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to have no displacement of your body, and you're going to float the left hand off the mat. Breathe in to lower it down. Breathe out to float the right hand off the mat like a cat when it's clawing the carpet. Use your Pilates breathing. Breathe out, abdominals on, shoulders away from the ears. Pressing the floor away with the heel of the hand. Last one. And we're going to go into a single leg stretch. Breathe out to extend the left leg. I like to drag my foot along the floor. You want to use the hamstrings and the glutes to move the leg. Breathe out. Reach the right leg. Try not to have any movement through the pelvis. Breathe in. We're thinking about going long rather than up. And you will always have one side that's more comfortable than the other. That is just being human. You have a dominant side. The aim is to create more of a balance, but you will always have that dominant side. Now we're going to do an opposite arm and opposite leg reach. So breathe out, extend the left leg and the right arm, keeping the ribs lifted, keeping the abdominals on. Breathe out, extend. to the start position. Breathe out, extend. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe in, return. Breathe out, extend. Breathe in, return. One more each side. Breathe out, extend. Right arm, left leg. Shoulders away from ears. Breathe in, return. Breathe out, extend. Breathe in, return. In this position now, you can tuck your toes under. Maintain your neutral pelvis, neutral spine position. You're going to do a quadruped plank. It looks like it is easier than a normal plank. It is not. You're going to take a breath in to prepare. As you breathe out, you're going to draw your belly in. Keep your body nice and still. You're going to float the knees off the mat. 1 inch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering down, breathing in. You want to breathe in your own time now. You're going to breathe out to lift, breathe in to lower. So breathe out, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. I'm going to do that one more time. Breathing in and breathing out. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Just sit back on your heels in your child's pose, shell, stretch, or your rest position. In this position, you want to make sure that your neck doesn't drop between the shoulders. If you can't keep your shoulders below your neck with your arms extended, just bring them down to your sides. And then coming onto your left hand side for the glute work. One underneath waist lifted. Remember that in the setup, we want to have our back up against an imaginary wall or the back of your mat, whatever it is that gives you that feedback, which for me is the back of the mat. And I'm trying to keep my underneath waist lifted, my tummy in, length through the neck, shoulder away from the ear. My feet are stacked, my knees are stacked, and my hips are stacked, reaching my top hip toward my top knee. I'm going to take a breath in to prepare, and as I breathe out, I'm going to float the right leg up. I'm going to keep my hand on my groin just to feel what's happening here. On this side, I have a lot more of an active hip flexor. So I have to really work on trying to use the glute. So what I'm thinking about is that imaginary pushing something up through the air with the outside of my knee, while the inside of my knee is a dead weight. So it's really relaxed. I'm going to use my abdominals to draw in to support my pelvis in neutral. And just making sure that my pelvis is in neutral makes a difference. I'm going to do 4 more. Last one. Keep the knees and feet together, lift the feet up into the air, let them rock forward. Keeping the feet together, breathe out, open the top leg right up. Breathe into the lower and halfway. Breathe out. Breathing in. Breathing in. We usually fatigue faster on the second side because we were using it to stabilize the first time around. 5 more. Breathing out for 5. Breathing in. And 4. Breathing in. Keeping length through the back of the neck. Use your Pilates breathing. Your abdominals are working the whole time. The last one. And rest. Pummel it out. And you're going to step the right foot forward, come up into a sitting position. Again, take that right knee with that left arm and just draw it across, sinking into the right hip, stretching that glute. You can do this just by extending your left leg and placing your right ankle on your left knee and leaning forward. One more breath. Okay. Coming back onto your right hand side, but you're going to be on your right elbow. Your knees are stacked, your feet are stacked. Your underneath waist is lifted. I just want you to do, this is a preparation exercise for the side plank. I want you to think about your ribs at the front and imagine that you have a belt tied around them and it's strung up to the ceiling. And I want you just to let your ribs drop. This is how we sit when we're in front of the TV. And I want you to imagine that belt being pulleyed up by the strap to the ceiling so that you have a concave shape under your waist. You're keeping your shoulder drawing away from your ear. Your ribs and, your collarbones and your sternum are stacked and open. They're not rolled one way or the other. They're just stacked on top of each other. And your top hip is sort of gently reaching towards your top foot. And then you're going to let those ribs come down toward the floor like we do when we're sitting in front of the TV, breathing in, breathe out. Use your abdominals to draw your ribs away from the floor. Keep the shoulder away from the ear. And keep length through the back neck, back ribs, shortening the front ribs. I want you to hold this position. Arm comes up in the air. Just make sure that your right elbow is directly under your right shoulder. You're going to take a breath in to prepare. And as we breathe out, we're just going to lift up onto the knees, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2. We're going to lower down, trying to keep that lift of the waist. I'm just going to move my knees back so they're more in line with my body. And my elbow forward a little bit. Underneath waist is lifted. And we're going to breathe out. 5, 4, collarbones are open. 3, 2. Keep the ribs lifted as you lower the pelvis. Breathe out to lift. You want to try and keep your ribs above the shoulder. 3, 2, 1. And last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower down. And then you're going to sit up and go to the other side. Left elbow is directly underneath the left shoulder. Your underneath waist is lifted. You want to have your knees sort of close to being in line with the hips, but not quite, kind of sort of, slightly in front of the pelvis. Your pelvis is neutral, collarbones are neutral. In this position, you're just going to allow your ribs to drop to the floor like you're sitting in front of the TV, sunk into that shoulder, breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to press the floor away. Draw your belly in. You use your abdominals to lift your ribs up towards the ceiling. Underneath waist is lifted. Head is an extension of the spine. It is always just following the spinal line. So whatever your cervical, whatever your neck is doing, the head just follows. My body feels so different left to right. That is just normal. I still feel strong in both sides. I just feel so different. You're going to hold this position, keep that concavity, keep the length through the waist, breath in to prepare, arm up in the air, and we're going to breathe out. Maintain that lift of the ribs and lift the pelvis. 3, 2, keep the lift of the ribs as you lower the pelvis, breathing and breathing out. 3, 2, keep the lift as you lower the pelvis, breathing. Exhale to lift up, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, keep the lift as you lower the pelvis. And last one, breathing in and breathing out to lift. 4, 3, 2, keep the lift as you lower down. And you're going to roll onto your tummy. Legs out straight, hands down by your sides, forehead on the mat. And we're just going to do some basic back extension. Palms are facing your hips, shoulders are open away from your ears. I just want you to visualize that something is heavy on your legs and you're trying to lift it up, but you can't. You should feel your hamstrings engaged to support your pelvis. You're always using your abdominals, trying to keep that pubic bone on the mat to support your lower back. And we don't really need to lift very high to get thoracic extension, especially if you have big boobs. If you have big boobs, you're probably already in thoracic extension, so you probably won't get very high at all. Keeping the forehead on the mat, you're going to draw your shoulders away from the ears and away from your nipples towards the roof. So out. And as you breathe in, you're going to think of gently nudging and marble along the floor with your nose until your eye line is just above your eyebrows if you're looking in a mirror. And you're going to lift your head and chest, reaching your hands down your waist towards your feet. Breathe out to lower down. Breathing in, nudging that marble along the floor, drawing your shoulder blades down your back to your back pockets. Legs are active. Breathe out to lower down. Breathing into lift. Shoulders working back and down, length through the upper back. Ears in line with the shoulders, breathing in. Breathing out. 2 more. Inhale, prepare. Sorry. Exhale to prepare. And as you inhale, glide the shoulder blades toward the back pockets, reach the hands to the feet, lengthen through the nose, through the throat, through the heart. Breathe up, lower down. 1 more, drawing the shoulders down away from the ears, reach the hands to the feet. Inhale to lengthen through the nose, through the throat. Lifting through the ribs, keeping collarbones wide. And exhale to lower down. Hands come up by your chest. Push up through the hands and sit back on your heels in your child's pose. Try not to let your neck drop between your shoulders. Just have 2 breaths here. Breathing in. Breathing out. And acknowledge yourself for making the effort. Well done. Thank you for joining me.